So does the travel get worse for you, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wears on you more?
Yeah, random Tuesday in Milwaukee, staying at the Hyatt at 41 years old. You think I want to do that? Being in Memphis on a random ass Thursday. I'm not like the first guy to even talk about it in the NBA. Like, we all like, you guys have to move. Just go over to Nashville. You got Vanderbilt over there. You got the NASCAR. You got a stadium. Don't they got a hockey team too?
Yeah, Predators.
Yeah.
Like, they got everything.
Doesn't look like LeBron's going to be on the Grizzlies anytime soon, so Grizzly fans out there.
Yeah, they know. Their only chance was in 2003 if they would have won the lottery to give me that. And I might have pulled a Eli Manning and not showed up.
All right, so we got beef. You see that we just had the video of LeBron that went viral a few days ago of him being on the golf course talking about Milwaukee and Memphis, talking about those two organizations and saying that he thinks Memphis should move. I saw the clip, didn't think anything about it. I just thought he was being more silly than anything. But some people took that clip very seriously. So in response to what he said, Stephen A. Smith will go on and give his thoughts on LeBron and the comments that he made about Memphis, which turns out to have triggered another former basketball player in Matt Barnes. He threw some shots Stephen A. Smith way, and then Stephen A. Smith returned them. But let's go to Stephen A. Smith's original comments after the comment that LeBron just made. Let's go check that out.
It's a bunch of white dudes on a golf course, knowing the cameras are rolling and videoing you without any regard for what kind of effect that would have on a black populace is problematic. Especially when I don't know if it was your sneakers or whatever it was that you just finished promoting months ago about black history and Martin Luther King and civil rights. I think you wore sneakers or something commemorating all of that. When I spoke about what this city needs in order to look out for the vast majority of its citizens who happen to be black that are living there. I did it right here on the mic and the cameras, with the cameras rolling. Dead serious as hell. Because I ain't trying to let nobody off the hook on that. I wasn't dressed in shorts, lollygagging on a golf course with a bunch of peeps that don't look anything like the folks that reside in Memphis.
Oh, God. Stephen A. Smith trying to, and I thought I would never end up saying this ever. I've never used these terms before. Jesus Christ. Stephen A. Smith playing the race card is crazy to me because those just weren't my thoughts when LeBron talked about Memphis, because I've always been a huge fan of the NBA. I don't watch it as much as I've gotten older, but I always keep my ears to the street and always follow the league, even though I don't follow the game that much, if it makes a little bit of sense. I've known players to critique Memphis as well as other cities, Salt Lake City and Utah being one of them. But I just didn't expect so many people to take such a racial approach to the comments that LeBron said. Again, I could be wrong. You let me know in the comments.
That's where it was foul. That was my take on it earlier this morning. That is still my take on it today. LeBron wasn't all wrong. LeBron said some very wise and on-point things about that. But other stuff was foul, particularly how flippant he was in saying it without any regard or sensitivity to black folks in Memphis, especially when he's got his I Promise school in Akron, Ohio, specifically designed to help uplift and improve the lives of black individuals and beyond from impoverished neighborhoods in that area. He clearly has sensitivity to those folks from his hometown. One would like to believe he has the same level of sensitivity to those folks everywhere. And I'm sure he does. It just didn't look like that on the golf course with a bunch of white boys surrounding him. Optics matter. Appearances matter. And words coming out of LeBron James' mouth about such a sensitive subject required a little bit more seriousness to the subject, not just as it pertains to his words, but also his surroundings. And that much needs to be said.
Okay, so Stephen A. Smith, those are his comments. Again, it's a little wild to me hearing him talk about it from a racial aspect, while at the same time talking about LeBron on the golf course with these white boys. It's hilarious. So Stephen A. said what he said about LeBron, and then Matt Barnes came out, and Matt Barnes had something to say about Stephen A. So let's check the footage.
So I just saw a video of Stephen A. Smith having an issue with LeBron on a golf course with a bunch of white boys, as he put it, talking about Memphis and how they should move to Nashville. And if you've been paying attention on social media, it's kind of a trending topic right now. I played in Memphis, got a lot of love for the city, but there's no doubt that the city needs to upgrade when it comes to its facilities for pro players. But Stephen A., you shouldn't have a problem with that. You're talking about his words and what they mean to the black community, but you've been the same man in front of the camera for the last handful of months, disrespecting Serena Williams, disrespecting Jasmine Crockett, disrespecting Kamala Harris, and tap dancing for the whole Republican Party, the whole white Republican Party. But you got an issue with LeBron talking about a trending topic, and his words carry weight, and he doesn't understand what his words can do to the black community. Do you understand the bullshit you're talking and what that can do to the black community? We all used to have a lot of love for you, bro, particularly me, because you looked out. But we're not going to forget the bullshit you on right now.
So that was Matt Barnes' response to Stephen A. And it's weird, man, because Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson has the All the Smoke podcast, and Stephen A. Smith was on there probably a year or two ago, and I thought it was wild, not necessarily Matt Barnes, but Steven Jackson, because it was clear right after that Steven Jackson didn't like Stephen A. and he would always take shots at him. But I think Stack is kind of just a jealous dude overall, because he would take a lot of shots at Shannon Sharp as well, even though Shannon Sharp was on their podcast and he never sent no shots his way. Anyway, Stephen A. Smith will hear these comments and respond. Let's play the initial clip first when he first heard Matt Barnes' words. This is Stephen A. responding to Matt Barnes on the Stephen A. Smith podcast.
But what you just did, what I just saw, that was fucked up on a multitude of levels. So I'm just going to address it one by one. Okay? Couple of things. Let's talk about LeBron. Why y'all all acting, were y'all flamethrowers? You employed by the brother? Why are we overreacting to every damn thing that he's LeBron? He makes news. I report on it. I'm not an influencer. It's my job. It's my job. First Take is on the show, on the airwaves, 10 a.m. to 12 noon every weekday morning.
Yeah.
Sirius XM is on the air from 1 to 3 p.m. every afternoon. Forget my political show for a second. Forget the fact that I own my own production company. Forget the fact that I own my own YouTube channel. I just gave you 2 jobs where I'm obligated to address the news. Y'all volunteering. Influencers. I'm a reporter. It's my job.
And let's not get mistaken, he's definitely taking shots at athletes who are, like he said, influencers, podcasters, things like that.
I ain't just sitting up there smoking some weed and then I decide, yo, I want to get this off my chest. Looking like I'm doing one of them Spike Lee videos where I'm strolling on some chair or whatever while I'm talking shit about somebody I'm supposed to be cool with. I'm doing my job. So let me do that job. LeBron James. I think it was me. Was that me, Josh? That was me. I did that. Because I'm not rooting against anybody. I'm rooting for y'all. That doesn't require you to agree with me. It doesn't require you it doesn't require you to have your own opinions. This is a conversation about respect. Matt Barnes, you know that on my worst day, I would never talk about you like that. Not in a million goddamn years. Not in a million years. You know that. Why? How? Because I've had ample opportunity to do so, and I never have. Not in your entire career. I've always looked out. I've always big upped. I've always had nothing but profound respect for you. And I got to see you on social media popping shit about me like that.
Look,
Really?
and to be fair to Stephen A., I know a lot of people don't like Stephen A. Stephen A. to me he's funny to me because he's meme worthy. Stephen A. has created so many memes. You probably forgot about some of them. Memes and like viral moments. But I've always said Stephen A. tries to play both sides. He wants to be blackity black, black, black at moments and hate being called Uncle Toms and things like that. But also at the same time, he tap dances for ESPN. That's what I've always said. Like, you can't have it both ways. Stephen A. has always wanted it both ways. But with that being said, I've heard Matt Barnes give Stephen A. Smith bad love before, saying that he helped out when Matt Barnes' NBA career was over, and I guess he helped them get employment on ESPN, and now they have, their own podcast. I just always wondered, especially like with these dynamics of Stephen A., Matt Barnes, and these guys, they have each other. I know they have each other's phone numbers, but they call each other out in public instead of just calling each other privately. It's always been weird to me.
Over some shit about LeBron, and then come to find out it ain't even about LeBron. I'll get into that in a second. But just to make sure that I'm not hypocritical here, what were we really talking about with LeBron? I'm sitting there saying be careful about being so flippant. That's it. Be in a serious confine. Address the issue with the seriousness that it's going to deserve, because it's going to affect the lives of a lot of black people. That's it. I didn't say that the brother don't have his I Promise program. I didn't say that he hasn't done things for the community. I didn't say that he wasn't one of the best people in the world, one of the greatest ambassadors in sports we've ever seen, who's a relatively good dude, regardless of my differences with him. It don't mean I don't hate him. I'm over all of that. I want him to do well. I want us to celebrate him. But when he does something that makes news, if it's for the wrong reasons, I got to call it like I see it, because that's my job. Just like when he's busting everybody's butt and looking like he's 10 years younger and doing all the things that he's doing to uplift himself and the Lakers. I talk about him positively, like I did the week before, and the week before that, and the month before that. But you forgot about that, didn't you, Matt Barnes, didn't you?
Stephen A. just said something. You guys don't remember, there was a situation last year with the Lakers. I don't know if they were on the road or at home, but they were in one of these games, and LeBron rolled up on Stephen A. mid-court because I guess he didn't like the way Stephen A. was talking about his son Bronny, the whole nepotism conversation. And he rolled up on him. After that happened, Stephen A. went on a podcast tour bitching about that shit for months. So there's that. So that's kind of where we at with it. One more thing I have to add is that you saw the criticism that Stephen A. had for LeBron in regards to his comments about Memphis. But look at comments that Stephen A. made just about 10 months ago in June of last year on First Take about the city of Memphis.
Y'all, I'm a brother. I look at Memphis as being a city, with a lot of black folks in a red state. That's a tough position to be in. That's just a fact when we're talking about Memphis. But the mayor of Memphis made a comment speaking up for the city and invited me to come. Sir, I have friends in the city of Memphis, longtime friends that I've known for decades. And I'm in Memphis quite frequently. I know a little thing or two about Memphis. So let me get that out of the way first. But in fairness to the mayor, Mr. Paul Young of Memphis, Tennessee, I want to throw this out there, and I thought it was important. Total crimes have decreased by 13.3%. Violent crimes have dropped by 19%. Poverty crimes have fallen by 20%. Total homicide rates have fallen as well in the year 2024. Okay, so when you're talking about that, violent crimes, we're talking about robberies have decreased. Rape has decreased. So all of that sounds good because it's moving in the right direction. But it's still recognized as one of the worst cities in America, to the point where the head of the FBI has called it the murder capital of this country per capita. That's on the record saying that. This is just weeks ago. What are we talking about here? The poverty rate is at 24.5%. In terms of their national ranking, it consistently ranks within the top 10 most impoverished large cities in the United States of America. Big one here, Molly, Doggy, Wendy. 40% of the children in Memphis live in poverty. And when we're talking about all of those things and you're talking about the troubles that exist, these are the kind of things that contribute to the city being deemed by some within the NBA community as unattractive.
So there you guys have it. Waiting to see what Matt Barnes' response to this will be. But it's funny, but it's funny how quickly Stephen A forgets the words that he said less than a year ago about Memphis. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments. You better squad. All out.